y'all, it's Red with Rougewood. Today I'm going to rebuild the deck for free. All these boards over here are the boards that I pulled off the old deck, and believe it or not, I haven't spent any new monies on this deck. You can see here when we're doing the demo that this deck was kind of rotten. I built it 6 or 7 years ago, and every couple years I was replacing the top boards. It was a little bit bigger. It used to measure about 12 by 20, and now it's going to be about 16 by 8. We got some free concrete from Home Depot when we went over there for a couple bags. Wanted to move the locations of a couple of these posts that we ended up recycling. I'm about to recycle a bunch of these boards, so here we go. We're gonna get with it. Getting a little framing done was the first goal. We had to cut down the deck boards from the 2x8s into some custom sizes, sloping with the ground, each one of them. So we started with the perimeter and then just added something in the middle. I guess it just depended on how many boards we had. We spaced them out kind of freely. Because it's close to the ground, these treated boards are rotting. So these were the ones that maybe are newer, but every couple of years I was replacing these boards. You see how low they are to the ground. You can just barely get your feet under there. And then this deck is in South Louisiana, and the weather conditions are such that it gets a bunch of water, and people like wood, and this is Rougewood. So here we go. Getting the first couple of courses straight sometimes requires a little bit of measuring. You want to measure left to right and front to back, and if you were building something that needed to be square, you'd also want to measure corner to corner. But in this case, we had kind of planned out how many numbers of courses there were and put a little spacing in between them, quarter-inch spacing in between the boards so that water could pass through. And we just wanted to finish close to perfect, Here we are. We got 3 courses, working on our 4th course. These boards are a little crooked. It's hard to see on camera, but any board that's 8 feet long and just a couple of years old, the way that they're harvesting wood is, it's sustainable. I guess it just depends on how you look at it. We could let the trees grow about twice as long and they would be twice as straight. Most things about wood are sustainable and green. We do grow the trees up pretty fast and harvest them quickly, and that's just the name of the game here in the United States. But wood is basically a very renewable product, as crooked as the boards come. In this case, we also recycled the screws, and that was also a money saver. Save a little diesel going to the store. I wanted to show you how recycled these screws are. These are kind of short for what we're doing. Some of them just have a lot of rust on them, and so we're not going to use them. This one's broken. You can see all the rust, and so we're saving money. We're saving the environment. It's less diesel that we have to drive around and truck the screws here and there. So a few more boards and we will be dancing on this dance floor. You make me feel like dancing. I want to dance the night away. The first course that takes the longest to set up, but that helps you finish well on the other side. Now we're getting toward the last courses, and this is up under the bench. So this takes a little bit more doing. We had to do either some jigsawing or in this case some sawzawing to get the boards to fit around the posts that were existing. Alright, we're quickly running out of recycled boards, so we're using this one, which has got a little bit of rot, but it's going up underneath where no one's really going to step on it. So we're just going to keep going, doing a little one-handed sawzawing. This is actually called a sawzall. Some people call it a reciprocating saw. And as as you well know, down in the South, we like for you to understand us, so we add a couple of extra syllables to every word. Oh, we threw all that wood away. That's a damn shame. Because we're going to need something like this. As you get to the end of a project like this, you start getting real creative with the lengths and the sizes of the boards. I had to go rip down some of these 2x8s to make some framing so that they would have something to kind of hold on to. So I cut a few top boards here and then pulled them off and started working on the framing. And this is just one of those touch and go type things. I propped the board up there with some drop pieces, and I'm toe screwing in some of those recycled screws, recycled Torx drive screws. Most of them are 3 or 3.5 inch. Of course, that size is going to come with a T25 bit. It doesn't strip out very much. The T10 should be obsolete, really, but they still put those on trim screws. I don't know why. Here I am just fastening the last course, really getting excited. I can see that the fun part's coming. You can see the gap there between the boards. Sometimes it's larger on one end than the other, but the boards shrink up outside, so they're all going to be the same when it's said and done. Okay. Ouch! Ooh. Ooh, the dangers of working barefoot. Ooh. Okay, what I'm going to do here is trim the ends here that I just flew long. Make you look real good when you put a nice straight cut on them. I'm popping a chalk line here and making this look real easy. Of course, I am an experienced veteran carpenter, and you might need a guide board or something, but you could do this with your battery saw and get the same results. Might just take a few more minutes. After putting a straight edge on the end of the deck, it was time to clean up. We were done with all of the building and construction. And as the day waned, it was time to start washing and getting into my favorite part, but first put up all the tools. Overall, I was satisfied with how it came out, and I loved the price. Alright, now we're done with the building. We're going to do the fun part, the finishing. So we're going to grab some sandpaper and a nail set, and we're going to go ahead and detail this thing out, and then we're going to put a water-based finish on it. So here we go. It's easy to get focused on the finish line and think that you're all done, but I had to do a little bit of detailing with the nail set and the sander to make sure it was comfortable to walk on barefoot. Anyway, when you're building something like this, it should be nice and smooth to walk on. Then I broke out the hose, some dish soap, trisodium phosphate, and a splash of bleach, and washed everything down, getting it ready for the water-based stain. I can tell you this one thing about Benjamin Moore products is that you will never regret using them. This one is called Woodlux, and it's a solid water-based stain. So the way that this works is real easy. You just roll a bunch of it on, then make sure you don't drip it. For the drips, you come back and brush it. So this is called roll and drag. We're going to roll and drag. We're going going to roll a coat on the top. And the fact that it's wet is great because that's just going to slow the drying down. It's going to make everything even better. This stuff dries super fast. But we went ahead and put a good wash on it. And now I'm putting a super thick coat, and then watch what I do. Here I'm about to grab the paintbrush on a pole. I've got a special little doohickey that works with my Wooster pole here, where I can put a large brush, or any size brush really. This is a stain brush that holds a lot of material, and just smooth out what I did with the roller. This is really a great production method, or as you can see, I'm doing all this by myself without bending over and being on my hands and knees any more than I was to build the whole thing. But you get a lot of material on with the roller, and then you come back and smooth it all out with the brush. Plus, the brush is really the best way to apply anything. It would just take a lot of dipping without the advent of the roller. It's all over except the paint drying. Thanks for watching Rougewood.